to the Four Grounding Roots. Four voices, one journey, rooted in love and guided by connection. Here we come together to explore cultural challenges, honor our differences, and uncover the beauty in unity. Join us as we dive into conversations about mindset, energy, relationships, feminine and masculine energy, inherited traumas, and so much more. Together, we'll bridge gaps, share stories, and find the common ground that connects us all. Welcome to the Four Grounding Roots. Today, we're going to be really diving into the complexity of December traditions, family connections, and emotional roller coasters of the holiday season. We'll really share our personal stories, our cultural insights, and tips for staying grounded around this crazy holiday season. So for me in Puerto Rico cultures, anything that we do honestly is we're always celebrating life. But for Christmas, Navidad time, mostly in Puerto Rico, they celebrate the Three Kings, which is actually in January. But in America, the Puerto Ricans, we celebrate Santa Claus and Christmas and, obviously Jesus and his birthday. So I love it because we focus on our food. We're big on food.
Oh, food.
Yes, we're huge on food. Arroz con
Food.
gandules, pernil, which is pork, a pork shoulder, rice and beans, yuca. So much different things. So we are very big on
Nice.
food and alcohol and rum.
Oh.
That is Latin stuff, Jenny, my love.
Yes.
Indian too, by the way.
Yeah. So for us, what I really want to focus on getting my Christmas back, because for so long I felt like Christmas was not aligning with me, and for me, I wanted to bring it back and create traditions in my own family. So meaning my kids and my husband. I don't think we think of that stuff when in my culture, we're always one.
Yeah,
which is great.
what's the difference between the American Christmas and the Christmas that you would like to bring back?
Yeah.
What is the difference?
So the difference now for the American Puerto Riqueño culture is they're very into materialism. You give a gift to everybody that even to the point of the person that does your coffee every morning at the coffee shop. You're giving everybody a gift.
Look at the presents on Chris's head. I love it.
Be
I
present.
love
it. And she comes
begging
gifts.
She comes begging
gifts. Okay.
So
and I'm the Santa Claus today.
Yeah,
but I
you're
don't
the Santa
have
Claus
gifts.
today.
I have no gifts.
No, the gift of you, baby. The gift of you being present here. That's the gift.
That's all of us, baby. Too lucky.
So for the cultural here, I really feel like we've lost that. So it's a lot of materialism, a lot of running around. Moms are getting decoration, cleaning the house, making sure everything's perfect.
Like a
And
competition, right? Levels. You're
Mhm.
scaling up, comparing with the neighbors. Now it's
Yes,
now it's
keeping up
everything.
with the Joneses, they call it. And it's just that's what it is right now. And I feel like this has been going on for so many years. And I think for me, for my family, and I want to focus more on meaningful. I want it to be meaningful. I want it to not only be celebrate Jesus and his birthday, but I also want it to come from a place of just being present with my family. I feel like I just haven't. It's always you're running around, and I never felt like I was presently there, because you're just so, you have 100 different things.
Yeah, there's no peace then. I know what you mean. You need the warmth, you need it to be wholesome
Yes.
together and peaceful as a family. I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
that. I get that.
Chris,
yeah, probably we are in Latin container, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for Portugal, I will approach Portugal and Brazil because it's our brother container in terms of because we speak the same language and we are very related. So in Portugal, it's winter, very, very cold. And there are a lot of traditions for sure. Families around the table, and we take hours, hours to prepare all the traditional dishes. It's
Mm.
crazy. It's really crazy. But besides that, there is really a huge layer in terms of the Catholic heritage. In Portugal, we have like a
Mm.
fireplace in the center of the village that usually we call Madeiro, and
Mm.
it's really huge. And everyone joins, all the village joins to celebrate this.
Oh, like a bonfire, the
Yeah,
pyramid thing. Oh,
exactly,
Oh.
the huge
wow.
one. And then what is a tradition is to share the best wine of the family.
Oh my
So it's
gosh.
really beautiful. Everyone to bring their wine with the couple, and then we share and we
Wow.
exchange. Is really powerful. And then at midnight,
Mm-hmm.
there is a ritual in the church that we celebrate the Christmas season, Jesus, and everything.
I
Then
love
we,
that.
Oh,
we
that's
it's
wonderful.
really amazing. Uh, yeah, I agree. There is a scaling up of the materialism for sure. And
Mm.
I don't know. I had just shared in some reel about the mall. I don't know if it's the
Mm.
same in your countries, but this is crazy in Portugal. And especially there are special discounts the week before or 2 weeks before the
Oh,
Christmas.
yes, yes. I think that's globally everywhere.
Is it
It's
like
Yeah,
Black
yeah,
Friday?
crazy.
yeah.
Is it
Like
like Black Friday
Black
you're talking
Friday,
about?
but
Yeah.
yeah, it's and we have adopted, and that's a good point because we have adopted Black Friday,
Mm-hmm.
which is not coming
Mm.
from Europe, but
Mm.
we are doing like an extended Black Friday for the toys, especially the toys, and
Mm.
then it gets really wild in the malls. So this is really
I've
materialism.
actually seen this in movies where I think companies promote one single toy,
Mm-hmm.
they make it a big deal, and everybody runs after it, and it's put in as a marketing instinct in the kids' heads through YouTube or whatever that this is the toy of the year. And
Yeah,
the pressure that the parents have to go get that toy is
yeah.
insane. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've seen this in
Exactly,
movies
and the
happen.
advertisement in the not
Mm,
only because as of the 1st of November, we are having like a lot of Christmas trees in the malls,
yeah.
trying to start to boosting the Christmas spirit. And
Mm.
then in the television, there is a huge pressure for toys as advertisement. It's really crazy.
Yeah, and I just adding on to that, Chris, like we do like, there's a lot of like festivals around here. There is a lot of festivals. Like every town has like they lit up the Christmas tree, so it's like a celebration of their downtown. And you go there, and they have like a festival, and then they count down three, two, one, and then the tree lights up.
Mhm.
And then there's like ice skating and things like that, which I love those because I feel like the energy there is just so bright, like so high
Wow.
vibration. So I love that. I also love like the coziness of like, it's like kind of chilly outside, but you have like a nice hot cocoa or things like
Mm,
that. But I just feel like in the last several years, it's not only overwhelming, but I feel like the energy has really, I feel like the lack of hope or the lack of why we're celebrating Christmas in the first place is being missed, you
And
know?
that, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
I think it gets overwhelming because we are increasing the difficulty and the complex, like levels of how what Christmas should be. And
Yeah.
not that much about the family, but all these like check
Mhm.
boxes, like the
Yeah.
food, the presents, the lights, and
Mhm.
everything.
oh, yeah.
We lose just the essence of Christmas itself with the
Yeah.
family, right?
Yeah. And like last year, I made it a point to like leave gatherings early than usually to just protect my energy and to store my energy, right? So I'm not home completely drained. And it made such a difference just setting like a limited boundary or a limited time of when I should be somewhere instead of staying up until like 1 o'clock because we'll keep going,
Yeah,
Latino cultures.
yeah.
So, I made it a point to say, okay, this is enough. Like I enjoyed myself as much as I want to continue this. I know that I want to restore my energy and make sure that I'm okay tomorrow. Cindy, how do you approach setting boundaries during the holidays, babe?
So in terms of setting boundaries, it can be difficult because it's the time where everyone's on holiday. Everyone is probably excited to see each other. But then not only that, people just want to release the stress they've carried on for,
Mm.
for the whole year, which again brings us back to the point of why are we so why are we so not present with ourselves throughout the year to the point that we just want to release everything at the end of the year? Like for example, here it's the culture. Like right now, the marketing companies are, especially for beverages,
Mm.
are on crack because there's a lot
Yeah.
of alcohol. There's
By beverage, you mean alcohol, right?
I don't know if it
alcohol
helps or not, but
specifically.
yeah, alcohol is a big thing.
I think in every
Exactly,
culture
alcohol.
across the
Yeah.
board,
Every
yeah,
culture. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
huge.
Yeah. Um, so there's the good and the bad. The good being that spirit of togetherness, people coming together, resetting goals. And um I feel like this is the most critical time of the year because it
Mm.
kind of sets the tone on how, A, you set boundaries for yourself and how you carry on these boundaries to the next year. Not only
Mm.
that, how you remain present to yourself
Mm-hmm.
and your standards and your values, because I feel like if you are surrounded with people who uphold the standards and the values that you have, you can enjoy this time. You can enjoy this time and you get to like build on each other, you know, yeah, you keep on building that. So let's say even if like maybe the 300 plus days of the year were shit, but then again, if we use this time to remain grounded and
Yeah.
Mm.
present with
Mm.
ourselves, and in a way that we protect not only our energy but also the people around, it could be a very monumental
Oh, I love
time.
that. You said
Yeah.
that. The people
Yeah.
around you, how they help
Mm-hmm.
And
you
the people
protect your
around
energy.
you,
The,
exactly. So
choosing them. Oh,
exactly. So the people around, like I feel like we also have the responsibility not only to just protect our energy, but also to be very careful and mindful on how we can hold space for the people around. Because
it's so true.
um
Right.
and I think it extends throughout cultures. I just decided to touch
Mhm.
on this point.
I love that, Cindy, because one thing I
Lovely.
found helpful is having a clear plan, like scheduling quiet time before
Yeah.
big family gatherings, events,
Yeah.
and it lets me show up fully without feeling drained.
Yeah, that is a
So
survival
true.
rule for sure.
Mm.
And one important thing, probably I should take this off because nobody will take me seriously.
No, that's
Uh,
not
No,
true. I love it.
no, we love it. See,
You're the
I'm gonna.
present. You're the present.
but I
Period.
was
We have
just
our
putting
danglers,
mind
baby.
in the same container of Cindy because for instance, in Portugal, it's really winter, but in Brazil, it's like summer. To mean to say that in Portugal, we need to stay at home with the family, but in Brazil, it's like an open going to the beach rituals.
Mm.
So it's more or less likely probable that we stay in that container with all the family, with all that energy to boost up.
Mm.
How it is for you, Cindy? It's which are the rituals you also take on Tanzania for Christmas? It's more at home, more outside.
Yeah, it differs from family to family and like different tribes, but what people love to do here is like get together, um, like slaughter an animal, like if it's a cow or whatever, and like enjoy beef in whatever shape or form, which could be really nice, like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
spirit of
Mm.
togetherness and the barbecue. And it's also the time where like food, like I could speak for my culture at least, like it's where people come together from grandparents to grannies, and like you set new. I mean, I think
Yes.
I think right
So
now
all
I start.
generations come together.
Exactly.
Mm.
But we have kind of lost
Wow.
it because it's
Mm.
we've kind of lost it because it's such a instant gratification culture these days, and I feel like it
Mhm.
needs to kind of be addressed. Like just because life is hard does not mean that we do not bear responsibilities for generations and our elders.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Jenny.
Yeah, and in Puerto Rico cultures, like in Puerto Rico,
Mm.
what I love, I went on vacation over there for Mother's Day last year, and it was just so beautiful. And this is how I know they celebrate around the Christmas, how they do the same thing, where every generation, like, you see literally every single person. You have so many cousins that you don't even know, and like, all these different generations coming together and just like learning from each other as well, which
Yeah,
is so beautiful. Because
yeah.
great 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 grandmother is sitting over there, and she's like, what is this FaceTime thing? And she's learning
So
about
cute.
technology.
That
Well,
really happened.
it's, oh yeah,
That's so
and she has
cute.
it on her ear instead of like in her face, and like, it's
Oh,
just like she's not understanding, but seeing the even the way everybody dresses, like my great grandfather like dressed like the old style, where it's like very like slack pants and like a button up shirt, and you seeing
Oh,
everybody's different styles.
1950s is back.
Yes, like to
Woo!
the ultimate. So it is really
Yeah,
beautiful, Cindy. I can totally relate. I felt a sense of like total love there. And just like seeing the different generations of like
yeah,
how it came, how we all came to be here is
yeah,
just very magical.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I wanted
before
to,
you,
sorry.
okay. All right, before you speak, Shirley, I just wanted to use this opportunity to also just tell our viewers to use this time to connect with, with our generation from a place of love, because I know
Mm,
there's a lot of trauma that we carry, but then love conquers it all, and just like appreciating little moments of peace, like what Jenny
mm.
just said. Yeah.
Well,
Love,
you have
baby.
to, and yeah, oh, I love that. Oh, that's so
Love,
beautiful.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Really sending love.
yeah, and that's the thing, Cindy, too. Like this is why taking time for self before you go to these things, you can end up being your full self and leading with that love. If you
Yeah,
put,
Mhm.
fill your cup up, right? And make sure you're okay here, so that you're able to kind of, have that patience, have that love, have that empathy come
be
from,
mindful of that, of
so
your
true.
energy, guys.
Yes.
It's really
Yeah.
important.
So true.
And
So
sure.
in India,
Yeah.
yeah, I was coming to that, sweetie. So in India,
Yeah, please.
so at least I can say for a lot of us who come from big cities, who have not really experienced the older traditions the way we should have,
Hmm.
I love what Cindy said about instant gratification. You know, how we all families, we do come together, yes,
Hmm.
or we call each other,
Hmm.
our far off relatives to wish them and celebrate and everything. But I think as soon as that celebration is over, everybody looks at bouncing out from the house now. And
Hmm.
they find an excuse to go out and party, meet their friends, or meet their cousins outside of home. And so, because we don't really, as a Hindu, we don't celebrate Christmas so much. But look at me, I have a Santa hat in my house.
Hmm.
And that's because I think as Indians, we are so many of us
Hmm.
and we're spread across the globe. I think we are also embracing a lot of different
Hmm.
cultures and festivals and traditions. And I love that
Yeah, integration.
because as I said, Indians are everywhere. I have noticed even the Westerners in other countries now loving and celebrating our cultures. I see women wearing saris, they wear the bindi that we spoke about. They burst crackers. There's a celebration called Holi, which is the festival of colors. I
Hmm.
have seen everyone enjoy that. You know those colored powders you put on each
Yes.
Yeah,
other's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
faces. So that's called
Yeah.
Holi, and these are all religious festivals that people celebrate together. So
Yeah.
it's beautiful, but it is so taxing to having to prepare for it.
Hmm.
We're not prepared enough. So yes, coming to you guys, I think organizing that day in advance and
Hmm.
finding time for yourself is so important, because then the whole next day is, it's a downer, like an absolute upper to an absolute downer, because it's
Roller
not planned.
coaster.
Oh, and
Yeah,
how?
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So for all you guys, babes, like how have you guys had holiday drama, like, and how have you like stayed calm in those moments? I would love to know, because this is a big thing. Some people don't want to go to family gatherings because maybe they don't get along with auntie, or they don't get along with titi, or they don't get, or titi's always asking these like very uncomfortable questions, like in Latin
Yeah.
culture,
Oh.
tú tienes un esposo, you have a boyfriend, tú tienes, like, oh
When
my
When
god,
you
when
getting
girl,
married?
Yeah, like they ask like these very uncomfortable
When are
questions,
you gonna
like
have
Yeah.
kids? It's been
yes,
3 years, you're
When it comes to
married.
second child.
exactly. Or are you having
It's
another
never
one?
enough. It's
Yeah, so
never
like I
enough.
would love to know you guys and
Yeah.
how you guys handle this, and coming from a place of all these uncomfortable things that we go through around holidays.
Dude, I have uncomfortable written all over me. I mean, I talk about in my page, I talk about getting comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Mhm,
I was
thank
born
you.
and raised like that. I
mhm,
mean, in the beginning, it used to be all fun and awesome and all, but it drained us so hard. And then I think I'll keep it short, but I only realized that at a much older age that it was getting too much, and it
mm,
had affected me mentally in so many ways. The
mhm,
pressure of having to be there for your family, your parents, the expectation that, oh my God, it's a festival. How can you not dance? How can you not sing? How can you not be present? You need to cook, clean. Oof, crazy. So yeah, it
mhm.
was madness.
I think for me, it's like I didn't have boundaries with my family. Like I was such a people pleaser that I allowed that energy to be like said. You know what I mean? Like I never like said no, I don't want to talk about that, or I feel uncomfortable talking about that. Like I never, that wasn't a thing for me. So for me, it was being more assertive and saying, "Hey, this is not what we're
Mm,
going to talk about," or saying, "I feel uncomfortable talking about that. Let's talk about something else." Or
mm.
especially when it comes to either beliefs or religion or politics, whatever it is,
Yeah,
like,
spirituality.
yes.
Yeah.
So, like,
Coming from religious families, I don't think they really understood what spirituality is. I'm
no,
so
they
Ooh,
sorry.
don't.
that's a whole
Like,
topic, Shruti.
Yeah, my love.
Wow.
mhm. So coming
Yeah.
from a place of, hey, I respect your beliefs, I respect where you come from. We might not agree, but we still respect each other, and let's just move on with this kind of conversation. So almost controlling what conversations are happening around me. I think to me, that's how I handle these things because, and
Mm,
again, limiting how long I'm there and who I speak
true.
to and who I give my
True.
energy to
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
to me that's how I would handle it.
If I
That's
could
amazing.
Yeah.
also share my vision in Portugal, and probably I don't know if you know fado, which is a typical
No, I don't know.
way
Mm-mm,
of let's say it's music. It's a typical
mhm,
traditional music in Portugal, and it's like fate
Fado.
fado. Yeah,
Fado. Okay.
and it's like very emotional. It's like the
mm,
destiny and the fate that we have in our lives. So how I could resume its intensity and
mm,
really this emotional. It's a roller coaster, as I was saying. There
mm,
is always at least in my family, um, for people remind the ones that are not present anymore because they passed away,
mm,
and to honor those memories. So
mm,
it can
Mm.
with alcohol it can easily become very emotional,
mhm,
Wow.
and
Oh yeah.
remind all those moments, and we cry, we laugh, and then there are some hard feelings on what I should have done for that person, and it's really a huge intensity to manage, but we honor the ones that are not with us anymore.
mm,
This is beautiful.
But
mm,
At
that's
the same
beautiful.
time, yeah, this leverage the emotions at a certain container that is difficult to control. We don't know what we will get.
yeah, I love that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in our culture, the way we do this in every festival, honoring the ones that have passed, is we have their pictures in our house. And we just go and do this namaste, which you all know is an Indian thing, and we take their blessing,
Mm,
and we end with that. So we do the cultural events, and then we go to their photos, and we just do this, and we tell them that we're thinking of you and bless us. Yeah, that's what we
That's
do.
beautiful. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
see, and this is where I feel like in American culture, it's not a thing to celebrate the ancestors, to celebrate. That's not a. It's something that has died, and I do want to bring
Mm,
that back because our ancestors are who we are. We're a part of them. We're all connected spiritually, with them. In Puerto Rico, they do like have pictures of like they have a wall of the history, and you know we kind of reminisce through like photos, right, that we have of
mm,
our ancestors, and kind of share memories and stories. Um,
Mm.
but I want it to be deeper like that, Chris. That is so beautiful. Taking a moment.
Yeah, that is
I
so
mean, we
true.
do say like "salud," which is like, just like cheers, to like things like that. And this is where alcohol can get intense, right? Um, but yeah. What about you, Cindy?
Yeah. I want to know,
Well,
Cindy.
in terms of family drama and family drama.
Mm,
Honestly, not that I have encountered any from my side specifically, but I feel like drama can come from a place of like aversion and
mm,
negative talk on the family. So I feel like for me, at least, the best way to avoid that is to not speak about the negative parts because there are beautiful sides,
Yeah.
there are beautiful sides to like family, like what Chris mentioned, honoring, the people who came before us and, fostering that spirit of connectedness. So yeah,
yeah,
most definitely the drama do happen, especially with alcohol and whatnot. But
And
yeah,
a larger group of
Yeah.
people.
in a
yeah.
large group of people, but I feel honestly, and I'm cool to say this, that and I think it was like a book I was reading or maybe a podcast I was watching that sometimes the low mood or maybe the negativity or like the depressive mood in a way, or
Mm.
maybe what we could term as drama, is a hunger for deep connection.
Mm.
Can be a hunger for deep connection. Yeah. So
A hunger
yeah,
for
what do you
deep
guys think?
connection.
Yeah.
I always thought it was a power struggle. Sorry, Jenny.
No,
Sorry.
no, go ahead, baby.
I always thought it was a power struggle when there's a bad dynamic in a group of people, especially family. Please explain this, sweetie. What do you mean by this?
Even I'm curious. I'm curious. Maybe it's a point worth getting more of, but
Yeah, it's
it's
beautiful
just it's
because
just
then it
what
makes
came
us
to
look
me
at
at the
so many of
moment.
these events in such a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Like if I see my cousin or my brother or my someone, poking a bit too much or trying to be seen a little more than the others,
Hmm.
it could also be that they're reaching out for
Yes.
something,
Yeah.
which I never thought of.
Yeah.
So I think that's beautiful,
Yeah.
something.
And
And I,
once
and
you
I'm
have that
saying this.
mind, go ahead, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying this from a different perspective now. Honestly, few months from now, I don't think I would have spoken like this. But I think it's
Mm.
from,
Me too, honey. Me too.
yeah, I mean,
Believe me.
it's from that it's from that level of authority and knowledge that of
I
especially
think
from
there's
coaching
also a
and just
shift
like
from negative to positive, Cindy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The shift from negative to
exactly,
positive also makes you think
yeah,
differently that
Well,
what else is it trying to say?
people think of
exactly,
positive, like, oh, be positive, but it doesn't. I think people misunderstand. Like, back to what you say, not know, they know, but they don't understand what that means.
Yeah,
Meaning
yeah.
coming from a place of a perspective of connecting with a universal mind, I feel like is so powerful spiritually, because what
Mm,
happens, when you go through your awakening process, you start seeing, you
mm,
know, people's programming, what they're running, what is needed, right? And it's funny because like my husband Nick is starting to see this, and I said, ooh, you're going through a spiritual awakening, baby. And he's like, no. Like he's like, so like, it's so funny. I
don't
said,
include me in your thing.
yes. And he's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And he's like, when you start seeing people's programming and what needs to heal there, that's a sign you were absolutely in your awakening process. And Cindy, when you say those things of like coming from a place of like, ooh, my aunt is really being like a type of like
Mm,
her energy's off,
mm,
or she's being like, hey, me, like, hey, pay attention to me. There's some type of unhealed wound that's open there that's saying, hey, how are you?
Paying
yeah.
How are
attention.
things?
Yeah.
And initiating, hey, I love you. What's coming up for you, and creating that space for our family. And this is why I think spending time with self beforehand, because when you
That
drink, a
part.
Yeah,
lot of
babe.
wounds come up, right? When you
Yeah,
drink,
babe.
people's wounds come up, and then things start getting a little bit. Me, I'm more of a happy person. Like, you won't know. Like, I'm like, let's go, like I'm. But for other people, it's not like that. Alcohol
Yeah.
enhances a wound, right? That is open.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. This is a point. We never know what we get with alcohol in the middle. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Alcohol.
So I would love to know. So now, back to presents, back to
Yeah,
materialism.
yeah.
I used to feel so much pressure around giving like the perfect gift or prioritize, and now I prioritize time over things, meaning how much time I spend with either my family or being present, right? So to
Mm.
me, like writing a heartfelt like card or poem, making something more personalized. So, Chris, how do you like really navigate gifts or like during the holiday season? Like, what does that look like for you, babe?
Yeah. Okay. This year it assumed a totally different layer
Mm,
because I had a family challenge with my father, as you know.
Oh,
And so far it was like, yeah, I was running after gifts, but nevertheless, I was quite mindful of what I was giving. I was always
mhm.
trying to chase more, not a toy or something that in a window of 1 month it
Yeah.
was not something amusing anymore. But this year I was really mindful on the presents. Not only part of the family took some solidarity and organizations that are selling products. And in this case, I have one which is Red Nose, Nariz Vermelho, that supports people with cancer. And I just cross half of the family with gifts that also partially goes.
wow. Well done. That's
Yeah,
a
Oh
good
my,
start.
I think we should talk about this. I mean the mayhem of just like the pressure to give gifts and to give presents. Sometimes we buy things that we don't even need, but that pressure to just like maybe look like, oh, I gave you a present. What you highlighted is so important. It's a time that we should also remember the people who are really in need. Like you did
Mm,
mention people in hospitals. There's
yeah,
orphans, there's streets, people, on the streets. I feel like it's also a time where we can extend our compassion in a
mm,
different way.
mhm.
Like the same
yeah,
way that we are maybe overspending on stuff, overspending on alcohol, overspending on,
Yeah.
go inside and like check what do you have that you could give out. I really
yeah,
love the point that you brought.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be a
Present.
gift. It could be your time, right?
Yeah.
Oh
It could
yeah.
be holding a space to, like for example, like holding. I've seen a woman that I follow on TikTok. She holds a space for people to express themselves and what came up for them for the week. So even your time, giving back your time of, at a hospital, connecting with someone, having a conversation, keeping someone company.
give
Maybe they're
love,
lonely,
right?
or nursing home.
No, absolutely.
You know
That's
what I mean?
giving
Absolutely.
love
So
for sure.
yeah, like
So
give.
in India these days, Sweetie, during festivals, a lot of something very similar to this has happened. But instead of keeping company, now
Mm,
people go and feed people. It's
mm,
beautiful.
I love
People
that.
come
I really
together
love that.
and they, like I did that. I'm a part of this very beautiful religious group of my Shiva. And we very recently did that. And it's called an Anandam,
mm.
where, sorry, Annadanam. Sorry.
Anandanam.
I mean,
Annadanam.
we
Anandanam.
wouldn't know. We would
Anna,
be here like,
Anna means food.
okay,
Danam is to
okay.
donate. So
Mm,
food
Wow.
donation, literally food donation.
Mm.
And this time we cooked. Morning 7:30 we were there. We cooked it ourselves. We served around 350 people. We were standing right in the middle of the street with this table and the food, and we went around asking these contractors working at sites, please come and eat food. Any passerbys, they went and the word spread, and we fed 350 people. And
mm,
this is happening a lot now in
That
India.
is love. That is you
It's
giving love.
beautiful.
mm.
Yeah, baby. Yeah,
And this is where I think across all cultures, food and alcohol brings connection, right? It brings love,
absolutely.
brings unity. And Puerto Rico, like when there's a really bad hurricane, like my toothpaste is your toothpaste. Like if you
Wow.
don't have food, we will get a caldón, which is like a huge like pot, and it's just full of rice and beans. Like a caldón is like it's made out of metal, and it's just, I mean, it's made out of like aluminum, and you make like rice like galore, and you just come together, and people go from downtown, and then they feed each other. Like they
So
just
beautiful.
open, it's almost like a farmer's market of food and things that we all have that we all might need through hurricane moments or things of need.
Wow,
um,
yeah,
it's like I that to me that is something that's being lacked. I don't see that much here. I mean, there's not so much like, hard like hurricanes and stuff, but there's no
yeah,
connectionness. There's no pulse in
yeah.
America.
The supportedness.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
It's
supportingness. I mean,
very rare, only in really bad times.
yes, like here is just
Um,
everybody's very individual here. You don't know your
mm,
neighbor as you should.
mm.
I love mixing family traditions. Like I love like here's pasteles, decorating the Christmas tree. So Shruti, I know that you were talking about that you're wearing the hat, and I know in India, like that's not the main holiday that you guys celebrate. So blending traditions
So,
to me
huh,
shows like connectingness, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
how
Oneness.
do you see mixed traditions playing a role in like the
Yeah.
holiday celebrations and all that over there?
Oh, it is so important because so even just so I'll tell you what, Christmas is celebrated in India, but
Mm-hmm.
it is celebrated by a particular religious caste, which is your Catholics and your Christians.
Catholics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and they do it so beautifully. And you should see the city streets, it's lit up, and every single religion or non-religion person participates in that. It's the whole city is lit up. There'll be a time when we start showing videos here. I'm gonna pop pictures of how our city looks during Christmas.
Wow.
And similarly in Diwali, which is our largest festival for Hindus, but these are all related to gods again,
Mhm.
and you burst crackers, you dance, you're wearing these beautiful vibrant clothes, and you go to each other's houses, you take gifts, which is a pressure point, yes,
Mm-hmm.
but that's what it is. You meet, all relatives come together, you're making calls, happy Diwali, love you, miss you. Yeah, so it's a beautiful way to connect, and I've noticed that this is now also spread globally in so many ways, because Indians are also spread everywhere, and I've seen everybody around the world embrace this. So at the same time, like when the Britishers came to India, is when actually, so of course our Christians and Catholics were celebrating Christmas already, but I think the impact got larger when we were invaded by Britishers and everything
Wow.
was becoming more westernized and stuff like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
but I love Christmas.
Yeah.
I love having a tree in my house also. I'm gonna go get one, by the way, tomorrow. I haven't told you girls this.
They smell
I'm
so
serious.
good. Mm.
Yeah. And what
Oh,
about you, Cindy?
Oh, I was sorry. I was just really caught up with what Shruti was saying in the spirit of connectedness. I was so deep. I was so deep into what she was saying. I mean, the power of just being able to, first of all, like the Indian culture in itself, it's so rich, and what
Mm-hmm.
the all the festivals that you did mention, and we see it here as well. The color,
yeah,
the color, the Diwali, and the food. Like we
yeah,
enjoy the
yeah. I
food
love
so
you said
much.
Diwali.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm getting good at it now. Now I need a
Love
salary.
it.
Yeah, but then it just brings me back to the point of connectedness, and
Mm-hmm.
how as human beings we love to be connected, and like we're coming from a place, we honor our roots, we honor where we come from, we honor our traditions, but then we also like that spirit of connectedness just makes us appreciate other people and connect to human beings, other human beings, which I think it's so beautiful. I was so into what you were saying.
Babe, on this, Cindy, I want to add one more point, girls. Santa has played such a huge role for
Mm-hmm.
Indian kids from your side of the culture because it brings love, light, gifts. They have the good list, the bad list. There's
Mm-hmm.
also a
Yeah.
disciplinary
Behave.
action coming
Yes.
from there. And I think the entire magic of Santa, and his elves is really huge in India, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you're religious or not,
Mhm.
everybody's in it. Parents are in it. They're lining to put socks with gifts in it. Your
Mhm.
tooth fairies, everything. It's so cute.
It's
I
so
love it.
cute.
This
And
is
the
when I miss having a child.
I know, but and the thing is with Santa, like how I show how I teach this to my children is Santa is a helper of God, you know, a helper of the creator. And you know, he's
Yeah.
spreading joy and love through
Yeah.
gifting you something that you
So
enjoy,
cute.
something that you love. And to me it's like, you know, they're like, so, and they know this, and it's like when you give something to someone, it doesn't have to be an item. It could be a hug, it could be a kiss,
Exactly.
it could be a picture
Absolutely.
you draw
A
for.
non-material.
Non-material.
Yes. And back to non-materials. So to me it is so beautiful because it's teaching. If you teach it the proper way of Santa Claus, it could teach them being kind, being loving, being giving.
The
And
good
the
principles,
tradition
right?
that I want to like absorb for my own traditions and my family is Christmas being a time of just giving, like, but like physically creating experiences. You know what I'm trying to
So
say?
true.
Not an
Yeah.
item.
Yeah.
So like going to the hospitals and, you know, spending time with people, nursing homes, people that maybe low.
Jenny, you are all about service, my love. You're
Yeah.
not a materialistic person at all
No.
because everything that you've spoken right now around the festival bit
Yeah.
was only about being of
Right.
service,
Mm.
service,
It's
service.
Yeah.
like good seeds that we are
So
planting in the
profound.
kids. But about
Yeah.
the Santa Claus, and I would just make here a bracket, which is we are all dressed red, and the Christmas and Santa Claus is red, but the
Mm.
original Santa
Right.
Claus it's green,
Mm.
and it was
Really?
Coca-Cola.
Mm.
What? Can you explain that?
Coca-Cola.
It
I
was
was talking to you
the
about this, Shruti.
original Santa
Oh,
Claus,
yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah. We
real
just
Santa
spoke
Claus
about this
is
before the podcast.
green, right? All the elves green. So all the container and the story behind of Santa Claus it's green. But then there
Mm-hmm.
was Coca-Cola at a certain period of time, and then just switched Santa Claus into
Huh.
red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is the
I
container we
didn't
are
know
having
that.
now. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Me neither. Jenny just mentioned me this before the podcast.
Yeah, it was
And
a
we were
marketing
scared to
tool.
talk about it on.
Yeah, it was a
Oh,
marketing
really?
tool. Yeah, it was a marketing tool for
yeah,
Coca-Cola to get their sales up in the winter time. But
yeah.
I think that they also meant to keep like love there. I really
Yeah,
do.
The heart,
yeah.
Yeah,
blood, family.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
red so hard. You know, like if you ask me why I'm wearing red and this stuff right now, like I wouldn't even know like why red, but it's something just
I
at the
still
back of
don't
my
know
mind.
why red.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Because
but
okay. Yeah.
Coca-Cola's
I
brand is
do.
red, baby.
Yeah, and this is the essence of the podcast is for us really to bring back the
Mm,
origin of the things and the meaning of it. And we can
mm,
release also this kind of the original Santa Claus because the story is beautiful.
mm,
My
Mhm.
daughter always asks if the Santa Claus exists, and I really mentioned it existed. At a certain period of
mhm.
time, there was really
A man,
a
a human.
man
Mhm.
that was bringing back this kind of course he
Love.
was compiling presents for the kids that could not afford it or the families that could not
Mm,
afford it,
Mm.
so the essence and the meaning of it existed.
mhm.
Even the elves, there is all a full house of Santa Claus that is
Mhm.
still
Yeah.
continue this legacy of the original Santa Claus, but of course it gained a different layer, but yes, it
Yeah,
exists, the
yeah,
magic, the
yeah.
love.
Of course he exists. Look at me. I'm Mrs. Santa right here.
Right.
We are
You know
elves.
what's
We are
coming
elves.
for me?
Okay.
What what's coming up for me is, you know, like it started with like this one person. I don't know the story, but from what you're saying, this one person who wanted to spread gifts and love. And it's just,
Mm,
I mean, the question just pondered to me, like, what are we giving? What are we ready to give? And we're here through unity and love and just like
mhm.
ready to share love.
Yes, to
Yeah.
serve.
Seriously.
Yeah, and to
Yeah.
serve.
You know,
Woo!
and now like I'm moving away from big resolutions and now focusing on like small, meaningful change.
Yeah.
And I think that starts with
Yeah,
the
so I want to know
simple
this, guys. So after all of these hectic celebrations that you guys have of Christmas and everything, how do you guys dial down?
for
What's the
Mm.
process?
like for me is like we take small habits for granted. Like here in America, like
Mm.
like, oh, everybody wants this big impactful change, but to me, it's
Mm.
journaling, sitting down with myself, practicing gratitude, meditating,
Wow,
giving myself self-love,
that's beautiful.
resting, not using technology all the time, and that's to me
Oh, I
preparing,
love the technology part
Yeah.
yeah,
because
completely,
during the holidays we're even more caught up in it.
yeah,
Yeah. We need
Oh.
to detox from
detach,
technology.
yep.
Yeah.
I saw this thing that said December, detach, desensitize, like it had
Declutter.
everything, de-cleanse.
Yes.
Yep.
Declutter.
So, and
Yeah.
I loved that because it was like December should be a detach, declog, deblock, like everything that has like a
Yeah.
just completely reset
This is
yourself.
so cool.
Yeah. And especially
And
after the Christmas Eve,
De Santa.
it's too
de
much.
Santa.
Sorry,
It's too much to really
I'm too goofy.
bring.
I love it.
We love it.
It's really it's life saving to restore our energy and to ground ourselves back
Mhm.
to prepare. And there was a very important point on the New Year's Eve too. If we are already out, lots of alcohol from Christmas, and then a few days
Mhm.
after, then we have
Yeah.
the celebration of crossover another year, then alcohol again, and then on the 1st of Jan we have a plenty of to-do list, and I will do this and that, and then 5th of Jan we are depressed. Nothing
Yes.
happened.
Yes. And
Yes.
this is
Mhm.
where it's very important to prepare,
Yeah.
right? For our new year to come, we want to manifest abundance, love, right? Balance. So one
Yeah.
thing
Calm.
I love doing is writing down what
Yeah.
I want to let
Yeah.
go of.
Hmm.
And then like sit with this, like symbolizes like to me like a really fresh start. Like what do
Mm.
I really want to let go so I can have more room for more abundance?
Mm.
You're
You
right.
know, what are some of
So
your,
important, my
yeah,
love.
what are some like of your favorite so like what are some of your favorite things that you guys do to kind of like have that reset for the new year and lean into that new year resolution or
Sloth mode for me. Sloth mode.
My time,
Mm,
yeah, my time, run, meditate. And now meditation, it becomes a huge layer this year, so I will
Yeah.
start this year. But
mm,
run.
No, but I need to change my routine. I mean it when I said sloth mode. I don't have clarity on how to organize and declutter.
Yeah.
So
mm.
I need to learn that from you girls, very honestly. Because
Like
I
for
don't really think I make a plan to even declutter. I just go in sloth mode and then I wake up and I'm like, okay, 1st January, let's do this, let's do that.
mm, yeah,
So,
like for me, like actually this weekend, like Monday, what I do is I clean my kids' toys. What can we donate? What can so like I do
mm,
that for the
mm,
whole house.
Mhm.
Like anything where I have storage or anything, what do I use? What do I not use? Like so
Yeah.
I declutter, I de-cleanse my whole
that is
house.
Feng
beautiful.
Shui,
What an
right?
idea.
It's the
Yeah.
principle of Feng
You're
Shui,
right.
and
It's a little
really
Mhm.
to
thing.
release all the stuck energy of things we do not use anymore. Just someone will
Hmm.
recycle and give it a life,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So it's to
Yeah.
reboost the
Yeah.
energy. And about
And
Feng
and
Shui,
and I show my kids this because again, we're
yeah,
programming them, right? We're
Yeah.
programming them what to do, why we're doing this to
seeds,
give.
yeah,
I the way I say because they're little, I say, and it helps clean out your brain. It helps
true,
your brain balance.
true,
So he's like, "Mommy, are we cleaning because it makes our brain healthy?" And I said, "Absolutely. It makes our heart healthy
Mm,
too." So it's
yes,
so
like
cute.
those
Wow.
type of things is like they are learning to like declutter, de-cleanse. I do palo santo, I do sage to cleanse my energy, balance, protect
Wow.
my home, things like that, from negativity,
yeah,
things like that,
That's beautiful. So we do a little
No,
bit
it's
of
very.
that during Diwali, guys, because that is the real New Year of a Hindu.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
we do
Mm.
that then, to be honest. But
mhm,
yeah, not decluttering and reorganizing the brain. I
mhm.
think that is where I need to focus.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, girls.
And it's crazy because I started to like go on this journey of minimalist, right? And then like
Mm.
when you go through this process, you become really extreme, and then you throw everything away. And you're like, oh God, I have nothing,
I'm poor.
and then
then
you
you become a minimalist.
yeah, then you have nothing. You're like, oh gosh, like I needed that.
I did not have anything. I need to purchase everything all over again.
I know that's happened with
Yeah,
Cindy once. With your clothes, remember, Cindy? Where are my clothes? Where are
where are
my
my clothes, Sydney? Yeah. So I've went through that shit, okay, girls. And now I found the balance. I think
Yeah.
minimalism to me means what it means to me,
That's
you know,
beautiful,
and
Jenny.
making sure I have a clear space of your
Mm.
home is so fucking powerful. Your home is your
Your
tranquility.
home is your mind.
It's your
Yeah.
mind. It's
It's my
everything.
sacred space, honestly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And to me, that's where I start is my home. Then I make my way
Yeah.
to mind, body, spirit.
Yeah.
Cleaning my aura, those things. And we'll talk about later in the podcast. Cindy, my love,
Yeah.
what things do you want to do or what things you do now?
To declutter and declutter. Honestly, right now it's mostly spending time with my loved ones, especially
Mm,
my mother and my sister. I
I love
find
it.
the deep sense of grounding when, with family. It's
Yeah, you have
just
a
like,
beautiful family, Cindy.
yeah, bringing that
Mm,
sense. And also another thing that I do to declutter is clothes, like giveaway
mm.
clothes. And I love
Hardest
clothes
thing.
myself. And exactly. And sometimes when you do it, it's just like, you just question yourself, why the fuck did I buy this? Did I really need this?
I know.
Did I really need this? But then it feels
Yeah.
so good. It feels so good. Like, I like the point that you mentioned about keeping your home clean. It feels so
Mm,
good keeping, that energy tank clean,
Yeah.
because then again, you
Yeah.
allow for new things to happen. And
mm,
another thing would also be like, reflections on career wise as well. Like, we don't talk a lot about, like, re-strategizing and cleansing, maybe the
mm,
toxic
Yeah.
things that we've been carrying over and over. So for me, this year has been so different because I've had to, like, really make some difficult decisions in that area as well.
mm,
So, and I feel like it's
mm,
been a big part of my decluttering as well. Like, quitting my
Wow.
job, and also just, looking at the future, because now it's not just
mm,
about your job, it's about purpose and it's about career. So
mm.
for me,
Mm.
it's been different in that sense.
Yes.
Yeah, and
And
that is
also,
so. It's really proud. We are really proud of you, Cindy, to taking that step. Because
Yeah.
yeah,
Chris, we want to know about you.
yeah, we are
exactly.
always saying to say no,
Mm,
right? To say yes to something else, and you had the courage to do that. So it's
mm.
really a
Yeah,
very
Yeah.
beautiful way, and I
Yeah.
really
That is.
appreciate your. You have really a resilient heart towards your purpose. So kudos
I
to
love
you,
it.
yeah,
Cindy.
Absolutely.
yeah.
And
Thank you. I don't know
guys,
why I was brought to say that, but it's been my experience, honestly. For It's been my experience
Truth.
for this year. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
I
And
love
which
that.
which
And
I think it shows that as human beings we keep evolving and we keep changing. We're always changing. So it's really nice to keep on upgrading. Like, the stuff that I would need to declutter this year is probably not going to be the same next year. Um,
mm,
so
Amazing, Dr. Cindy. Amazing.
yes, my love.
yeah,
And
what
honestly,
about you, Chris? Yeah. Oh, sorry, Jenny, you're not there.
no, go ahead, baby. Chris, go ahead. What do you want to do or what are you doing now, baby?
So, as I mentioned, there is always a physical part of me. I need to not only I try to be mindful in the Christmas season, alcohol, because then I know my body will suffer. So I need to be mindful about my body. I
Mm,
keep morning run. I do not live without it. It's like a survival rule. But
mm,
besides that, I'm
Wow.
incorporating more the spiritual layer, and this is quite
mm,
new for me, like the meditation, the journaling, because I think we should not just wait for the
Mhm.
1st of Jan just to wake up
mm,
and now
mhm,
what I want
Yeah.
for life for this new year. So what
mhm,
I should do
Yeah.
now, and I'm already journaling everything. What I will say no, and this is so hard. That's why I was giving
Wow.
because in order good things to come in, I really need to remove something
mm,
that is not serving me
mm,
anymore. So
mhm,
that's why I just tried some things down already since the
Mm.
1st of December. and
Yeah.
gratitude. I think it's a
Oh
really a good
boy,
way, because the year end, it's not
gratitude.
just about Christmas, it's the end of the year, right? And we
Yeah,
start spiraling in our mind what this
Mm,
year represented for me, what I want for this new year. So nothing better than for you to get a clarity of
mm,
the year you
mm,
had, to celebrate, to be grateful, but also to
mhm,
set the tone for the new year. This is really
mm.
important.
I
wow.
definitely resonate with that, babe, because I feel like we go into the mindset of in lack, like what we don't have. And when you practice
Mm,
that gratitude, you see truly how far you have come
Yeah.
throughout the whole year, what you've accomplished, um, what you've went through, what you've overcome. So I
Yeah,
think that is so beautiful because it changes your psychological mindset, gets you into that right side of the
so
brain,
true.
which we'll talk about in a future podcast. Um, but it allows you to not only reflect, but go into that new year with that deep gratitude of the things that you are abundant of. But there's always room to be your better self, right? So Chris, that is so beautiful because you come from a place of gratitude instead of a place of lack for the new year, and I
Yeah,
love that. So people, our audience that's listening right now, we would love to know what traditions you want to implement, what things you want to start doing now instead of waiting for the new year. Please comment. We would love to hear what you guys do now, what you want to implement,
yeah,
all these different things. And please make sure to share this if this really resonated with you. Thank you guys so much for listening, and for joining us today. We love to hear all about your holiday traditions and how to protect your energy and all your plans for the new year. You could connect with us on social, on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And don't forget again to subscribe for our next episode to kind of give you notification. And we'll deep dive into more topics as we speak. So, Cindy, go ahead, boo boo.
okay, I just want to wish you Merry Christmas, and I'm gonna say it in my language. Heri ya sikukuu, heri ya Christmas na mwaka mpya.
oh,
Love it.
Merry Christmas. I don't know how it's said in Hindi, sorry.
Okay. Feliz Navidades, mi amor. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Santo e Feliz Natal para todos e um excelente Ano Novo.
Wow,
Talk
that sounded
soon.
like a
I love
complicated,
it.
tasty food. I
I
love
know.
it.
I wanted to eat it.
I love it, Chris.
Talk soon, my loves. Bye. My love, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and subscribe and follow, and also hit that bell to notify you the next time we post our next episode. Talk soon.